The Sustainable Development Goals Explained. Episode 1, No Poverty. The SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, are 17 goals from the United Nations to promote prosperity while protecting the planet. These goals are focused on governments rather than individuals, though as a collective we have the power to hold governments accountable and insist on action. The SDGs were set in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly. That's the main policy-making section of the United Nations. The UN intended to achieve these goals by 2030, but 5 years in and we're already running behind. And it's not super surprising. Looking at these goals, they're intimidating and far from perfect. But making these goals more accessible and understandable would be a big step towards making them achievable. I hope you'll join me as we break down what these goals are and how we can see them through. Starting with this. Episode 1, No Poverty. The first of the SDGs is No Poverty, a target designed to end poverty in all its forms, everywhere. Extreme poverty is currently measured as living on less than $1.90 a day, that's roughly £1.43. In recent years, the rate of extreme poverty has been decreasing from 36% back in 1990 to 10% in 2015. But that rate of decrease has been slowing, and we were running behind the goal even before the coronavirus pandemic. Before the pandemic, poverty rates in 2030 were estimated to reduce to 6%. But in 2020, we've seen the first rise in global poverty levels in over 20 years. Extreme poverty is now projected to be somewhere in the region of 8.4 and 8.8%, pushing us back to the level we were 3 years ago, back in 2017. That's 3 years of progress we've lost. This means that an estimated 40 to 70 million people are now being pushed into extreme poverty. South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa are projected to be the worst hit by this change, with up to 32 and 26 million respectively now living below the international line of poverty. So why do we have poverty? Main causes of poverty include unemployment, social exclusion, vulnerability to natural disasters, diseases, and other aspects of life that make productivity difficult. As human beings, though, our well-beings are all linked. It's incredibly difficult to escape poverty without help, and that causes inequality to grow. It causes social and political tensions, and in some cases, it drives instability and conflict. Systems of social protection, things like subsidized food, fee waivers for health and education, and social assistance are all crucial, especially in a pandemic, to stop people slipping back into poverty and help people in poverty out of it. But back in 2016, 55% of the world, around 4 billion people, received no form of social protection, and only 22% of unemployed workers were covered by unemployment benefits. This, coupled with the fact that young workers are twice as likely to be in extreme poverty, makes it clear that more needs to be done to protect those in poverty and help them out of it. Extreme poverty is dangerous for a lot of reasons. Odds are you can't access high-quality nutrition, sanitation, or clean water. All of these influence the health and well-being of those in poverty. They often go without adequate shelter and often live in places where natural disasters are more frequent or extreme. And they almost certainly live in places where the infrastructure isn't in place to protect people from those disasters. Poverty is closely linked to many other SDGs. Its effects are extreme and complicated. By increasing protections to avoid extreme poverty, we can expect to see health and sustainability improve across the board. So what can we do? Engaging in policy making, getting your voice heard and knowledge shared leads to innovation and encourages progress. Governments need to create an enabling environment to generate productive employment. They need to promote job opportunities for the poor and marginalized, and they need to have systems of social protection to avoid people falling into extreme poverty. The private sector also has a huge role to play. It needs to promote inclusivity and help contribute to poverty reduction. It needs to promote opportunities for the poor. And then there's science, which has already made very significant contributions to ending poverty. Enabling access to safe drinking water has reduced the risk of waterborne illnesses, saving countless lives, and improving hygiene across the board. Improving the efficiency of food production has also reduced the cost of food while making it healthier and more sustainable to produce. Safer healthcare is also a major step in the right direction. By making our voices heard, we can get governments to focus their attention on policies that matter. Science, the private sector, and their own policy making will help us see poverty reduction as a priority, something that could save millions of lives and positively impact millions more. And that was just a basic look at the first Sustainable Development Goal. For more information on the SDGs, we recommend the UN website where they're all available in a little more detail. You can look at the World Health Organization for plenty of studies on poverty and its effects on health. And as always, you can stick to our social media where we'll have plenty of blogs and videos like this, which are perfect for people that are just starting out. Thank you. Have a lovely day.